My name is Average Joe, and I've been a nerdy geek for years with an interest in movies, comic books, and animation. I'm on a mission to share my experience of nerd culture by sticking it all under the microscope.
And I'm Agent John. I'm just here to have fun, learn a few things, and, be a little trolly. Welcome to the Batjar Podcast.
Hello there, and welcome not to the Batjar Podcast, but to a special mini episode of the Batjar Podcast.
Yeah, it's still the Batjar Podcast in a sense, isn't it?
I guess.
Okay.
But because I'm on vacation right now, and I'm sure I'm enjoying the sun in Florida, probably every day, a lot.
I'm angry at you right now.
And just to give you guys a little bit of anything really to hear from us, we thought we'd talk about the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, because this came out way back in time, in late January, early February.
Yeah.
And it was up for topic discussion, but One Shot kind of vetoed it. So I know that you're interested in this because you mentioned a couple times now that Ant-Man and the Wasp was one of your most anticipated movies for 2018.
Yeah, mostly because I really liked Ant-Man. It had a lot to do with it, and kind of at the end when they have the sort of the reveal of the of the suit with the wings and stuff like that, it was like, yep.
All right, so we've seen the first trailer now for Ant-Man and the Wasp. What are I've already watched the trailer like 3 times, so my thoughts are more solidified. But I'm curious, your immediate reaction. I always love hearing your immediate reactions to things.
Well, okay, so
I just have one question. When Cap needed help, if I'd asked you, would you have come?
I guess we'll never know. But if you had, you'd have never been caught.
Now let's just for a second forget the fact that I loved Ant-Man,
sure,
and that my anticipation is high for this because of my love for Ant-Man. Trailers don't excite me that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I feel like trailers they're just not that indicative of quality. Like you get some sort of vibe of what the dynamic's going to be. Like it looks to me like it's going to be more of a self-contained story. Of it's not, they're not bringing they might bring in some cameos from the rest of the universe, but it's really about them. It's really their story. Mm-hmm. It's not anything like Civil War. And to me, it seems highly action oriented, everything like that. I saw a sneak peek of Lawrence Fishburne. That's fun. But what I did notice is that it's still going to have the same sort of comedic level of the first one. It's going to have that same feel, which I love because it's intended, right? So, I can tell from the trailer that it's going to be, they're going to continue with the feel of, I guess, the mix of action and humor as Ant-Man, but probably they'll scale up the level of action and the level of, I guess the level of gravity of the story. Mm-hmm. It seems like they're going to step it up because the action looks a lot, it kind of has chase scenes, there's just a lot of sort of big action to it, which to me is exciting. So I'm really looking forward to it, but it's hard for me to tell really from that what it's going to feel like. But I hope that it keeps a lot of what the first Ant-Man did, what Ant-Man did as far as appropriately putting comedy into it through, especially through Paul Rudd's character. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I think I've criticized certain MCU movies for being too much of a focus on the comedy, which will remain nameless here. And I think Ant-Man is one of the few MCU movies I actually own on Blu-ray. Because when it came out, I loved it so much. I loved how it blended action and humor, and even a little bit of heart, like everything to deal with his character and his family was very heartwarming for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just sorry to interject, but I mean, the reason this is different in the way the comedy is approached is because with Paul Rudd, he has a certain style, sort of an awkward kind of style of comedy, where it doesn't seem like it's out of left field when they interject it. It seems appropriate, I think, towards the character that he is, even just the actor, just his face. We just kind of know, so it doesn't feel like it's, shoehorning.
Okay.
So I think that's why we like it more.
I think one of the things so for me, trailers actually do get me excited because it gives me at least some indication beyond photographs as to if the movie's going to be any good or not. And obviously you're seeing all these random shots and little scenes out of context. You have no idea what it means in the larger story, but it's like, wow, that looks so interesting. Like, I can't wait to see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
So this trailer's got me really excited for this movie. It's hard to say like if I'm actually going to move it up my ranking of MCU movies is for the year. If I'm actually, I think I might be more interested in this than Black Panther, but I haven't seen Black Panther yet.
Yeah.
So. But I think the biggest thing I give this trailer credit for is that it tells me that this story is going to address the consequences of Civil War.
Yes.
So one of the big criticisms I saw about Civil War was actually questioning why would Scott Lang choose to get involved in this?
Right.
Because the whole plot of Ant-Man is him trying to go straight after having been in prison.
Absolutely.
And you see the conflict he goes through as being an ex-con, he can't even keep a job at Baskin Robbins.
Right. Yeah.
So they're like, why would he go out of his way to basically put himself in a situation where he's like, working with Captain America, who at the time was basically a known criminal.
Right. He was sort of enemy of the state for that time.
And it didn't even seem like he knew much of what the conflict was about. Like when he first shows up, he's like, "So what are we doing here?"
Yeah, he was sort of commandeered.
Yeah. Like he was promoted or pursued by Falcon, just saying the Avengers needed his help, and he was like, "Avengers, okay, I'll go." And it was very. I mean, I loved Ant-Man in Civil War. I thought he had his role. He did a great job.
But you didn't have enough information to understand his motives there.
Yeah, you're like, it seems like this is a poor choice on your part, and then he gets captured in prison at the end. So I'm happy to see that there are consequences of those actions. That those decisions he made have impacted the people in his life, and that seems to be part of what this movie is going to be. And that's why, I love when the MCU does that, when they build upon, it doesn't have to be shoehorning in a whole bunch of characters and plot lines in the previous movies, but even if you just, within your own narrative, you address things that have happened previously.
Yeah.
And apparently this is set before Infinity War, so both Ant-Man and Wasp make appearances in Infinity War, from what I understand. So this means that when we see Wasp in this movie, she'll have already been in the Avengers, probably very briefly, I would assume.
Right.
Just because there's so many characters in that movie.
Right.
So it is going to be kind of confusing for me to go from watching Infinity War and then watch this and be like, okay, wait, this is actually before Infinity War. But I know how Infinity War ends, so surely I would know how this is going to end.
Well, they're still alive, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of even the fact that the Infinity War trailer shows that Black Panther's still securely in charge of Wakanda, even though that seems to be a main conflict of the Black Panther movie.
Yeah, maybe there's a problem there. What do you think? Do you think that'll cause viewers to just be like, okay, lose the intrigue, that sense of risk?
Yeah, I think that is part of the problem in the movies now, is that people who aren't super invested be like, well, it doesn't matter.
Should they just be releasing these chronologically?
I think that would help.
Yeah.
But obviously with some of them, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 didn't take place in present day. This Captain Marvel movie is supposed to be set in the 1990s.
Right.
Obviously the first Avenger was in the 40s. So.
Right. So no, but I guess I'd mean when it comes to the stories that are sort of the present day stories.
Yeah.
It's kind of it seems to me it's an interesting choice, and I think that if they made the choice to ignore, being releasing chronologically, that they must have a good reason, because those choices aren't just made willy nilly.
Right.
You know what I mean? They must say, okay, look, this is the way we can make it work, and the fans will be happy.
Now the Wasp's costume looks very different from what you saw at the end of Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there's sleeves now.
Okay.
And the colors are a little different. Does that bother you at all?
No, those kinds of wardrobe consistencies, as long as it's not so off that you're different colors, everything like that, you're like, okay, who do you think I am, an idiot? Whereas if it's something like that, like sleeves, no sleeves, I honestly...
She looked cool.
Yeah, she looked very cool. It was a good outfit. But I don't get caught up on it.
Right.
I really don't.
Fair enough. Now, there's one actor in the movie that they didn't put in the trailer, and that's Michelle Pfeiffer. Mm-hmm. So she was cast as Janet Van Dyne, who, if you remember from the first movie, was the first Wasp and Hank Pym's wife and Hope's mother. Mm-hmm. So there's the fan theories that are going right now is you see a ship in the trailer, like the back of some kind of spaceship very briefly. Mm-hmm. The theory is that they're going to go to the microverse and get her back. So,
well, they did show one little scene where there was looked like molecules and stuff.
So, I'm hoping they don't spoil that in the next trailer, because this
Yeah.
is obviously like the teaser trailer. So,
Yeah.
you know, honestly, like if they didn't show any more trailers, I'd be interested enough to see the movie. It shows.
Oh
like,
yeah, no, it's I have high expectations and hope.
like the way they use size manipulation of like the building and the cars,
Yeah.
like that's all really interesting. It's
Yeah.
stuff I don't see in other movies. Even like with the Hello Kitty, like they can turn something completely like a pet dispenser, something so innocent
Yeah,
into
that's
an
funny.
actual weapon.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for this power, this superhero power, to interject with humor, or inject humor into it.
So, having seen this trailer, are you now? I know this doesn't really affect you, but are you more excited about this than Infinity War at this point?
I don't know. I think I actually do. I'm. For me, the Avengers seems like to me, it's kind of a toss-up. Like I know it won't be a bad. I'm pretty sure it won't be a bad movie, but I didn't like Age of Ultron that much. You know, like I liked just the Avengers, and maybe I'm a primitive fan. I kind of want no, really. Maybe I just want the big action. Make it fun, make it wild, make it whatever. Whereas the amount of theory I feel like that went into Age of Ultron, and them trying to like explain it, and them, to me it was just like I don't care a whole lot about that. I just want to see this happen. I just want to see it play out.
Oh.
And give me just minimal information. I guess show don't tell.
Okay.
Well,
it'll be interesting when we talk about Infinity War then, because that's supposed to conclude the storyline that's been going on for 10 years. So.
Right. So we'll see. So for me, it's like, yeah, I'll see both of them. There's no doubt about it. I just don't know. I feel like I feel more secure about Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
I just feel like it could be like a 3.8, or it can be like a 2.6. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
I might like it or dislike it. Whereas I feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp, like it'll probably be like a 3.4. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just I just feel like I can predict the quality of that more.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's been our little talky talk about the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer.
If you want to contact the show with a question or an idea for an episode, or if you just want to leave us feedback, you can send us an email to
batjarpodcast@gmail.com.
Was that your alter ego?
Yeah.
Oh. Or you can tweet us at
The Bat Cookie Jar.
We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, or directly for download from our website. And we have a Facebook page at
Facebook.com/batjarpodcast.
Share our posts and invite your friends to like our page. Because frankly, we
Want everyone to join us.
inside the Bat Jar.
When we come back next week, we'll talk about Black Panther, the first MCU movie of the year. And until next time, I'm Average Joe.
I'm Asian John.
Catch you on the flip side.
Bye-bye.